Hey everyone, today David gets called out for his sin. What David had done was evil in the Lord's eyes, so the Lord sent Nathan to David. When Nathan arrived, he said, there were two men from the same city, one rich, one poor. The rich man had a lot of sheep and cattle, but the poor man had nothing, just one small ewe lamb that he had bought. He raised the lamb, and it grew up with him and his children. It would eat from his food and drink from his cup. It even sleeps in his arms. It was like a daughter to him. Now, a traveler came to visit the rich man, but he wasn't willing to take anything from his own flock or herd to prepare for the guest who had arrived. Instead, he took the poor man's ewe lamb and prepared it for the visitor. David got very angry at the man, and he said to Nathan, as surely as the Lord lives, the one who did this is as good as dead. He must restore the ewe lamb 7 times over because he did this and because he had no compassion. And David was told by Nathan, you are the man. So how do you tell somebody that they're wrong? Now, the easiest way is, well, just post a comment below if you disagree with what I say, right? Use an insult and or quote a well-known Bible verse that as if I've never heard it before. And in person, it's generally the same tactics, right? Prove that people are wrong with your facts, preferably by yelling them. But how does that usually work out? Usually not too well in my experience. The response that you usually get when you do that is defensiveness. Our brains actually process verbal attacks the same way as a physical attack. They can't tell the difference, right? And if you ever wanted to punch somebody because of their opinion, that's part of what's going on there. And then to complicate things further, what if the person who's wrong is in a position of power, right? If they're a king, perhaps, calling them out could cost you your head, right? R.I.P. John the Baptist. So the best way to get through someone's defenses is with a story, like the one that Nathan tells here. We are storytelling creatures. That's the way that our brains process the world around us, by making stories. And they can work best if they have kind of a surprise or a twist built into them, like the one that he tells David here, right? Because David ends up condemning himself. The reason that works is that stories create empathy. How would I feel if I were in this person's shoes? It's hard to care about issues, but God made us to care about people. And so hearing people's stories, at least in my own experience, that's often what's changed my mind. It doesn't mean that I throw out facts and don't have arguments to support what I believe. But hearing how bad thinking has hurt specific people, that leads me to reevaluate my thinking and my theology. As I said yesterday, David deserves all of the blame for what he did to Bathsheba and for killing her husband. But to his credit, at least here, he owns up to it. When he could have said, well, that's just a story about some lamb. I'm the king. So can we have the courage to listen to stories even when they convict us? Whose story do you need to take more seriously today?